All right. So I mowed the lawn, walked the dogs. What else am I doing? Oh, that's right. It's time to draft. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Too Much Best Ball. You've got Brian here for another live draft here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network, brought to you by Underdog. And folks, if I don't have a special treat for you, let's cue the music here for our new guest tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Introducing, hailing from the fantastical world of film and flicks, the maestro of movie magic, the titan of talkies, the one, the only, JJ, co-host of the celebrated Too Much Movie Night podcast, where he dissects, discusses, and delivers dynamic reviews with delightful details. Let's give a rousing round of applause for the juggernaut of the silver screen, JJ.
Well, I mean, I feel like you way overhyped me right there, but I am all about it. Keep that up. What is up? How is it today?
Man, it's best ball time. It's fun. We got you away from your movie podcast. I know you're watching them, left and right here, but we got to take some time because the schedule's dropped and it's football season.
I know. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm literally on the edge of my seat with excitement, and because I haven't moved my chair up forward yet.
Well, good to hear it, man. I'm so glad to have you here. As all know, I'm a little bit affiliated with the Too Much Network, so of course I am on the Too Much Movie Night podcast with JJ. But we do have a hell of a good time there. But we're taking a break. We're drafting some best ball today, and of course we're going to start with a puppy draft. For all of those that are out there, best ball can get a bit pricey from time to time, but of course we've got these great drafts like the puppy, only $5 to join. And of course, for all of our new time users, make sure you use our promo code FFAdvice. And right now we're matching up to $250 in bonus cash. So let's make sure we take care of that. Wow, that was a struggle there, folks.
That's a hell of a deal. Like, I really wish that I could do that, but
right, the amount of times that I've already joined and I just want to go back for these new promo codes. It's annoying, but we're going to go ahead and jump in this draft because it might take us just a little bit to get rocking and rolling. Boom. Let's get everything situated here. Whoop.
So how many spots are we drafting with the puppy draft today?
So it looks like we're waiting for 3 more to fill. This will be a 12-team league that we're joining. In the puppy draft, it's going to be 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a couple flex, and a super flex. Or no, I'm sorry, not a super flex, tight end spot. I'm excited. We haven't dropped a super flex in best ball yet, and I can't wait.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
All right, the 8th spot, not too shabby. Okay. I like it.
Okay.
JJ, I've got to ask, have you dabbled in best ball draft so far this year? I know it's early. NFL draft just came to a close.
I have done I've done 1, and I'm fairly confident that I'm going to be, subpar. So,
Yeah, it's hard to convince people to jump into best ball this early, like before the draft even started. Do you know how many drafts I burnt because I grabbed the wrong guys? Guys like Braylon Allen, who he's buried in the depth chart. That was a huge waste of my time, but
Yeah, I was a little hesitant on doing any, which I really don't even like to start them until, at least the roster's set, because you never know with these rookies. Like, hey, yeah, they're hot shit. We're ready to rock and roll, and they don't even get hardly any playing time through training camp or anything like that. So I don't know. I'm always a little hesitant about it, but hey, might as well start early and get the practice rounds in.
100%. I think that's where you have that opportunity of, as long as you're doing a good handful of these drafts, that's when you kind of take advantage of shooting your shots. Hopefully you get some great value, but at the same time, you probably got some crap value on there too.
Yeah.
We're coming up on the 1-8. Christian McCaffrey has been going first in just about every one of these drafts. But where are your feelings as far as starting off early? Are you do you have a favorite method going into this? Are you a wide receiver guy? I'm pretty sure playing redraft with you, you're a big fan of the running backs, but are you open to any position here?
I mean, I would honestly have to go probably I mean, looking at the running back class and being in the 8th spot that we're in, I would probably just mainly stick to wide receivers because, I mean, there may be 1 or 2 guys that I would pick up, but it just depends on what they're gonna do this year, and I don't know. That's where you come in. You're the expert. Like,
Oh,
you
don't
gotta
make it
tell
floating
us
that
what to
direction.
do.
No, that's why we gave you the intro. Everybody's listening to you tonight.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Well, I know some good movies if you wanna watch those.
There we go. We'll get that on the background, folks. So we've got a good night regardless. But we're coming up here. Bijan and Brees Hall are still there. These are the only 2 running backs I would be willing to take at the
Mhm.
1-8. If he takes a wide receiver, we'd be left with one of 2 of either Puka, and he took Brees Hall.
Ooh,
So we got Bijan we can take there, which I will say the schedule
I
dropped.
like
I'm
that.
a big fan of Atlanta.
Yeah.
You want to go for an Atlanta stack on this one?
I'm about it, you know? We have, we've got Kirk Cousins and
He's
Penix.
fallen. He's fallen. Love it. Yeah, let's go running back heavy. I feel like everybody wants to go wide receivers so hard in these best ball drafts just because you are starting with 3 wide receivers. It dries up quickly, but the positional advantage to having one of these studly running backs, I think it does make a difference, especially this far out when we are taking a lot of shots. We do know bye weeks right now, so we have to make sure we don't screw that up. I've got
Mhm.
that here off to the left for us, but um, almost locked in for a wide receiver here in round 2. I believe, right?
Yeah, no, I definitely think so. What do you think about JT this year? Jonathan Taylor, what's he gonna do? Well, obviously right there, but
I'm excited for him. I think he will return RB1 value, but when you're taking him right here at the 5-6 spot, you're leaving very little room for error. You know, if he misses a handful of games like he kind of has been, or it doesn't fall, Anthony Richardson steals a few touchdowns from him. Thank God Drake London is gone, so we don't have to go for the double Atlanta stack.
yeah.
You
Ooh.
know what? I really hope Marv falls to us here because and he doesn't. I knew it. All right, so we've
Hmm.
got Brandon Ayuk, Chris Olave, Devontae Adams, Debo, Nico Collins on the board. I think all of these guys, it's a shot in the dark. There's really no wrong answer here. Do you have anybody that's screaming out to you?
I'm against Devonte Adams.
He's old.
He's older and they don't have a solid QB in place.
3 seconds. All right, it's going to auto pick Nico
Ayuk.
Collins.
Oh,
We could have shot our shot with one of the San Francisco guys. Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuels, they're right there.
hey,
Nico
I'm
Collins,
happy
I
with
think.
Houston though.
Yeah, I think he's going to lead the way for those Houston, the trio of wide receivers there. He's a big bodied guy. He had a ridiculous average depth of target. You think CJ Stroud's going to repeat? You think we got a real guy with what we saw last year?
I mean, with Diggs going over, I mean, they're gonna have a great receiver core. I think they're gonna go far. I don't see him hitting the Super Bowl, but that's also because being from Texas, I know a lot of Texans fans, and I don't want to give them that.
Well, no, we can't. We don't give it to the Cowboys. We don't give it to the Texans. There's just certain
Yeah,
teams.
but at least they're not Cowboys.
100%.
That's all that matters.
What are we approaching? Like 30 years since the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. You think like it's starting to die off a little bit? Maybe this new generation of Cowboys fans that even haven't seen their team win a Super Bowl. You think they're going to be a little bit more humbled?
No, no,
No. You heard it here first,
mm-mm.
folks.
Yep, doesn't change. Doesn't change anything. They're always going to be Cowboys fans. That's the best way to label them. And I think that's like a genre of people, if you will. Like oh
Oh,
man,
100%.
like you have your douchebags and then you have your Cowboys fans, and you're like,
We're going to be
not that
dropping
we're
off.
trying to lose any fans here, but
Right, we're losing Cowboys fans left and right here. No, we're going to take Zeke with our next pick just to prove you Cowboys fans.
hey, what about that deal? Him being able to go back to Dallas though.
Well, they're still paying him from his first contract, so like he might as well go back there and finish it out. It's freaking ridiculous. I don't know. I'm kind of in the team that they might trade for a running back, whether it be like a premier guy or just like a Miles Sanders over in Carolina, who just seems to be like a cut candidate, possibly. Maybe they go
Yeah.
and do something there. Just their backfield is so gross.
Hmm.
Rico Dowdle,
Yeah,
just not a
I'm
fan.
not a fan.
Not a fan.
It's like I was about to say Mike Evans. I don't think he's really gonna really do anything this year either, but it is what it is.
That age,
I
we're
don't.
getting that spot where these guys can fall off the cliff at any point, and it's just so like you have to be scared to invest in them. But if you were
Yeah.
last year, you
Well,
regretted it.
so I mean, I think about it this way: like Mike Evans was in college when we were in college, and I don't
Don't get
want to
that
even
floater.
run across the yard. So, like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive when you look at like some of these guys who are like down talking, like, oh yeah, they're crushed. There's no way they can compete, and a lot of them are younger than us. It's sad.
Oh yeah, the majority of them
All
are.
right, so we're coming up here at the 3-8. We got a running back and a wide receiver. I don't like taking Derrick Henry or Josh Jacobs this early. I'd really love me a wide receiver. Malik Neighbors, I don't like the position this year, at least not at wide receiver 20. I'd be eyeballing maybe Devonta Smith. I'm cool with rolling the dice on Cooper Kupp again. DK Metcalf.
You know me, I'm a Cup fan. So
You got a soft spot for old Cooper Kupp. So
mhm.
I'm cool if we kind of pre-lock that in. I am open to either Smith or Metcalf if Kupp somehow goes here to old Vincenzo.
Vinny, my cousin Vinny over here. Speaking of which, you should check out that episode, my cousin Vinny and Too Much Movie Night. It's amazing.
Too much movie night. You guys are over on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify, right?
Yes, sir. 100%.
No
All
kidding.
major platforms.
Nice. All right,
right.
we're on the board. We got our pick of the receivers. Are you tilting at all, or is Kupp still our guy?
I mean, I'm biased towards him. I have to lean it. I love him. I want him.
All right, you guys look at us. We may be drinking from cans right now, but we're gonna go with Kupp. Lock it in.
Oh, no. I love it.
Don't worry, the jokes get progressively worse as we get down the end of the 4th, 5th, 10th round.
Oh yeah.
At least it wasn't as bad as your mirror joke the other night.
That was a great joke. I actually used it at work too, and it went off.
I'm not gonna lie, I've tried to shoehorn it in multiple conversations already, so I've got it in my back pocket later. Folks, you want to know what joke we're talking about? You got to keep listening because I'm sure it's going to pop up at some point tonight.
Oh yeah, it will. It will.
Alrighty.
So, I mean, I might pop some other one-liners out too. Let's see. Tank Dell's gone. That sucks.
And right now, what we're looking at, we have Bijan, so we could always, he's a guy that you can stack with the quarterback as well. Nico Collins, I'm not a fan of taking CJ Stroud. He's already gone, so we don't have to worry about that. Nice. But Cooper Kupp getting Matthew Stafford later in the draft, I think would be a pretty good value. All right, we're coming up on the board. And what do we have?
I mean, and you could always be that guy and pick up old Patty right now, but I don't like doing QBs that early either.
Yeah, if we get a QB, I don't mind Patty early, but I really want some elite rushing upside. Oh my gosh, where do we go? We're about to tilt, aren't we? Zay Flowers or T. Higgins, who you like more?
Zay Flowers. But
that was a tilt pick. Folks, you just witnessed it here. This was Mark Andrews was right there, but I felt like it was just such a reach. Or should we have grabbed Lamar Jackson and hoped we can get Mark Andrews on the way back? Probably not.
That's a good hope, but probably won't happen. We'd be stuck with.
Now, we didn't get Drake London, but looks like on the way back, we might be able to be in line for Kyle Pitts. So building up our Atlanta stack would be pretty good. As I was looking at some of the data coming out with the schedule, Atlanta's got a pretty good playoff run. They're playing at Vegas, they're playing against the Giants, and then at Washington. So that's not a bad run, especially at Washington. There could be a lot of points in that championship game. So we might flirt with maybe a Washington stack too. Although Jaden Daniels, his ADP is boosted. He's all the way up at QB 12 right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was like QB 18, 19. And then over the last like 10, 14 days, he is just shooting up boards right now, which is wild because I thought it was almost a guarantee he was going either second or third overall. So where the surprise is coming in, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I'm curious. Huh. Hmm.
I also wouldn't mind a Chicago stack if that
Hell
falls the right
yes.
way. I was looking at the schedule, and Justin Boone drops out a schedule matrix, and it's early. We don't have a whole lot of data, but from what he's pulling up, quarterback and wide receiver, the number one best schedule is Chicago for both positions. So Caleb Williams might be in line for a very nice year this year. And
Hmm.
JJ, I think you root for one of those teams in that division.
I was about to say, I'm so glad that I can finally hear you say that Chicago's gonna have a nice team because I am myself a Bears fan.
The
Hmm.
Bears.
Duh.
Yeah, I will say the
Bears.
Bears have always been my NFC team. I was a big fan, and especially with the Colts Super Bowl run. I loved watching the Colts and the Bears go undefeated for the longest in that season, and of course, cherry on top, the
Hmm.
big dub. It's okay. You'll get him next time, JJ. You'll get him next time.
Yeah. Still heartbroken, but let's see. What is that? That's been.
It was '06, coming up on 20 years.
Yeah, we're just shy. We're 18 years away. Wow. I'm old. Then again, so is Peyton Manning. So, oh,
Watch your mouth, okay? Oh, there it was. There it was. I missed the
yep.
joke opportunity, and leaving the people at home just missed out here.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
but you
Hmm.
talking about
Hmm.
quarterbacks, you're not a big fan of taking them early. So I'm pulling up the QBs right here in front of us. We've got Anthony Richardson at QB 6, Burrow at 7, Kyler Murray at 8. Is there a guy, if you were taking somebody here in the next like 5, 6 quarterbacks, is there one that sticks out to you? Are we saying Caleb Williams just because?
I mean, my heart wants to go Caleb Williams 100%. Like no brainer, follow your heart, pick him, do it. Do it now. But logic tells me that he's a rookie. So
Traditionally, they don't hold up very well their rookie season. I know we had CJ Stroud last year. I think that's been like the asterisk on the whole year. Before we get to that, though, we're on the clock next. We have one running back, 3 wide receivers, looking at Bijan, Nico Collins, Cooper Kupp, and Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews fell, which I'm kicking myself. Had we not tilted our faces off, we could have grabbed Lamar and had a nice Mark Andrews stack. But I think that kind of leaves me.
are you
I'd be
thinking
okay
Kyle
reaching.
Pitts?
I'd be okay reaching for Pitts here. Terry McLaurin is here in case we were eyeballing possibly. Oh, Cooper
I
Kupp.
don't like. Oh,
Oh man.
Amari Cooper. I don't know.
I know we talked about the Chicago stack, but if Odunze is the top Chicago wide receiver we're taking, I'm not sure I love it that much.
Mm-mm. I don't like 2 rookies. That's too much of a gamble. So I'm leaning towards, man, that's going to be a tough. I
Let's
mean,
go
yeah, we kind
Keeley.
of have to.
Since
Kind of
we're not
have
going
to.
quarterback early, we'll go tight end early. That way we don't have to pick up all that, like just the wasteland of tight end there at the end. We'll pick up Kyle
Hmm.
Pitts and maybe one more. Did this guy? Oh, wow. He's got Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews, but he did not get Lamar. Darn. Wow. These wide receivers, it's getting gross, man. Christian Kirk, I'm kind of into this year. Xavier Worthy, Marquise Brown, those Kansas City guys. It's a freaking flip of a coin between those two. At this point in the
Dude,
season, do you think you have a favorite?
I think Hollywood's going to shine.
I'm warming up to the idea. I've been trying to throw him off to the side because he's older, but he's not. He's like 25 years old, maybe 26. Like
Oh,
peak
yeah.
for wide receiver goes all the way to 28. So I don't think we should completely write this guy off. We've seen Sammy Watkins and Juju come into Kansas City and not look great, but I'm going to hold out hope. Just one more time. Just one more time. Maybe Hollywood's got it.
I mean, my honest opinion, you're going to see Kelsey kind of drop off, I think. He's aging up there, so I think they're probably trying to build a team to take a lot of pressure off of him because he was their only playmaker for the past
Yeah, they're going to have
couple
to
years.
slow him down a little bit. All right, we got 10 seconds here. I got Chris Godwin queued up just because of the news about
Oh,
him
I
staying
didn't
in
know
the
we were on the
slot.
clock.
Roma Dunze, Jordan Addison, Keon Coleman might be another guy I'm interested in. YOLO. Chris Godwin.
All right.
Didn't have a great year last year, but they're talking about putting him back in the slot, and that's where that guy thrives. Just feed him targets all day long, and I think we might be able to see a bounce back from this guy.
Trying to give Baker Mayfield's playmaker some love. I like it.
A little bit, and maybe we go Kirk Cousins and Baker there at the end because we're going to need like 3 quarterbacks for this build since we don't have a Studley Dudley.
Hey, but, I'm for it. I'm for it. Just don't pick up Anthony Richardson and don't pick up Joe Burrow, and I'm for it.
I've picked up Anthony Richardson, I think, on just about every one of the live streams we've done on Friday night. So the people at home are probably going to start revolting if I don't stop.
He just got picked, so we're good.
We're good. Went at 6'8". Oh, I love that. The upside with him, man, it's unreal. I get it. Hide the Colts stuff, but a little bit of a bias. But I love what this guy can do for this year. We've got a couple rookies on the board. Keon Coleman, Brian Thomas. Oh, God. Talk about question marks. These guys, we're getting to this murky spot of the wide receivers. And I'm glad we got 4 studs. Yeah. We have 4 pretty good guys. We can start dipping into the running backs a little bit.
I like Jordan Addison. I'm just really afraid that he's not going to have a playmaker to throw him.
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy, does he start week 1? Sam Darnold probably is going to come in for the first few weeks. I don't know. I'm excited. I think there's hope just because the pieces around J.J. McCarthy are good, but it's it's a JJ. Those guys are very controversial. You never know what they're going to do.
Hey. Oh, you're right, 100% on that. I'm older, so I have the namesake. I can gladly say yes. You're correct.
Well, you spell it different than him. He's just J and J. You spell it out phonetically, isn't it? JAE, JJ,
JIA,
JJ,
Aja.
All right. Coming up here, we still are in that running back dead zone area. These running backs are gross. Jonathan Brooks, though, he's there. He's a little intriguing. Najee Harris, if he can fall a round or two, I'd love to be able to pick up him. Zach Moss is somebody I don't mind grabbing if we can get him later. Same with maybe Trey Benson, but I don't know. David Montgomery scored, 17 touchdowns, 16 touchdowns last year? Does he replicate that? Like, do we just see? Because the Lions did it the year prior with Williams. He had 17 touchdowns. So, is this just going to be a regular thing where we see some bruiser?
I mean, Jared Goff is doing amazing things. I hate to say that, but it could be the case.
Saw that new paycheck he got, right?
Yeah. Holy
$53
shit.
million a year. Wow. So
he's the richest man in Detroit.
Yeah, that's what I was talking on an episode a couple nights ago. What do you do with all that money living in Detroit? What do you buy? Snowshoes? Snowmobile? Home security system?
City blocks, because real estate is very cheap there.
Right. I've seen 8 Mile. I know how it works. I think so. Man. We're at the top of the round. We're only waiting 8 more picks. We've got a handful of guys ahead of us. 2 of them already have 2 running backs. I'd kind of like to wait on running back here and maybe grab 1 more wide receiver. Okay. Deontay Johnson is still in my heart.
Are you sure?
He is wide receiver 44 right here. He finished at wide receiver 43 last year. So that's good, right? He only played 10 games. So you're saying in 10 games, he matched what his ADP is right now? It doesn't make sense. If you're assuming he plays a full set of games, this guy seeing over 100, 110, 120 targets, there's just no way he does not finish higher than his ADP. And that is why I have a problem. I have an addiction. Been taking too much Deontay Johnson this year, but it's okay.
The stats are there, and I understand what you're saying, and I agree, but I just the team isn't there. So,
do you believe is Have you written Bryce
I'm
Young off in Carolina completely, or do you think that there's still a sliver of a chance? Damn it, there was Brooks.
I'm
Shit.
on the fence. I really hope he does stand out, but I don't think that I don't think we're going to see anything amazing out of him. But then again, he didn't have an O line in front of him, so
This is true. They spent a lot of freaking money to go. I think it was 2 guards is what they picked up. This team should be better. They drafted a tight end too, athletic guy, brought in some pieces. So I'm really for the fan base. Screw the owner, but for the fan base, they deserve something better.
how about that video? Oh, we're on the clock. Then
We are on
we'll
the
talk about
clock.
that.
Oh,
Then
the
we'll talk about the
video.
video of the owner. Oh,
We're holding tight with the wide receivers right now. We have our tight end, and there's tons of quarterbacks. So let's grab us a running back. Somebody jump out to you. There's 3 or 4 here I could go with.
I mean, I'm about Moss, and I'm about Raheem Mostert, just because he did me glorious things last year.
Nice.
But
Well,
he
let's
is
grab
older.
Raheem Mostert.
All right.
He
is
is.
older.
I wouldn't mind grabbing that rookie, Jalen Wright, maybe in a few rounds, just as a bit of security to make sure
Yeah.
that we do have at least 2 of the 3 pieces. Obviously, Achan is gone, but he wasn't healthy all year, so there's a good chance that 2 of these 3 pieces are pretty valuable.
So did you see the video of Carolina's owner right
Oh,
before
throwing
draft
the
day?
drink or whatever. Oh,
Yeah.
before draft day, yeah, going in there yelling at the store.
Yeah, going in and hollering at the restaurant owner. I love it.
It's just, oh my god. It's wild seeing some of these franchises overturn the ownership is, Walmart, Home Depot. These big companies are coming to take in these old money teams. Now it's new money
Mhm.
coming into these NFL teams, and you'd think they'd be smart enough to understand that they don't know dick about football. Pay the people that you pay to do what you don't know how to do,
Yeah,
just like you do at your other jobs.
legit investing. Invest in your team. Don't try to control your team. But yeah,
Right? When
that's
I
why
bought
we make the
GameStop
small bucks.
stock, I didn't go into GameStop and say, "Hey, I need you to put the games on the lower shelf so we can reach these things." I just bought in and I watch my money just disappear. That's what you do.
Wait, you
That's
wouldn't ever put it on the lower shelf because you can't reach the lower shelf.
I know, but I'm trying to sell
Oh,
stuff, so
there
you
he
got to drop
goes.
it for the lower people.
There
Caleb,
goes my hero. Watch
aim for
him as he goes.
aim for the bushes.
Ah,
All right, let's pull up the big board here. Let's see where we have. Let's scroll down here. Wow, running back run in this round. We had 1
mhm.
wide receiver and 2 quarterbacks go in the 8th round. Other than that, it was all running back. So I'm very glad that we got a piece of that, because coming back here, I probably don't want to grab another running back. Maybe, but wow. All those big names I liked, Najee, Javante, Jalen, Zach Mont. Yep, they're gone.
I am glad we
Trey
picked
Benson,
up
though.
Kyle
I can
Pitts,
mess with
though.
some Trey Benson. Quarterback here. So Baker's an option, Bryce Young's an option, and which a jig? Kirk Cochains.
I do like. Ooh.
Let's go ahead and mark some of these fellas so we don't forget, because somebody tilts his ass off and he forgets pretty often.
Heyo. I do it all the time, too. I always forget about stacking, too. I'm like, yeah, this
And
guy's
that's
an
the
all-star.
one of the negatives I feel like about playing in these tournaments is the numbers show so much how stacking and correlation lines up. So
Mm-hmm.
you almost force yourself into making sure that there's some sort of strategy, whether you're planning that out. Nice. Trey Benson fell. JJ, I don't know how familiar you are with him. He's a rookie. He went to the Cardinals. He's sitting behind James Conner, who is on his last year, also misses multiple games. I think as far as running backs, this is a teardrop for us. So let's go ahead and let's dip our pen in the Arizona ink, if we will.
And so if you're watching us live right now, I would like for you to know because you probably are saying the same thing. I didn't even get a word in right there. He just drafted him. He didn't even ask my opinion. He just said, "You may not know, click draft." So this is great. I love this democracy.
The great thing is too, like right there, if maybe you were talking a little too long. Well, let's hit the mute button. No more JJ. I'll bring him back here, folks. Now. Yeah, look at that.
Censorship. Love it.
The smallest amount of power has already gone to my head. It's taken over. All right, so we got our quarterbacks there. It looks like we've got a good amount of time to wait. Wide receivers getting gross here. I do like snagging in some of these Green Bay wide receivers. Romeo Dobbs is interesting to me. Josh Palmer, somebody's got to catch the ball out there for the Chargers, but he's not sexy.
No, avoid Jerry Jeudy, even though he is now a Cleveland.
And I don't know if you saw he got his extension. The dude's making like $22 million a year. I don't know how. I don't know how.
Yeah. Yet the city's covered in potholes.
He's going to help fill them with the dropped balls.
Actually,
we're just gonna...
fun news. So the potential new Browns stadium could possibly be like, I don't know, a mile away from my office.
Oh, fancy stuff there. JJ's getting us great parking for any of us who want to attend Cleveland Browns games. Check out in the comments of the YouTube video. We'll post JJ's phone number and address for you guys to get in touch with him.
Yes.
All right. We have 3 running backs, 5 wide receivers. I feel like I'm kicking myself if we don't take a wide receiver here, but there's a couple running backs I'd be interested in. What are you feeling? You want running back or wide receiver? Anybody? 5 seconds.
5 wide receiver.
Wide receiver, taking Romeo Dobbs.
Yep.
That Green Bay wide receiver core, they've got 4 guys. 2 they took last year, 2 the year before, and all of them look like they could do something. So as far as taking them at any platform, I think best ball is the best way to do it because Romeo Dobbs, you're not going to want to have to figure out if you're going to start him or not. I know the person in our redraft league last year, she about kicked herself every week because she got it wrong every single time. So best ball might be one of the best places to grab some of this value with these wide receivers.
I love that about best ball. Set it and forget it. You don't even have to do anything.
I think that's the biggest disconnect between new fans and this is they don't realize that it takes no effort at all. If anything, you should do more best ball than you do redraft because it literally takes no effort outside of the draft.
So I was trying to explain it earlier, and I may have been doing it wrong, but I made it way more confusing than what it actually is. So I think you really just need to try it, which these puppy bets are great for that because you just boom, low, try it out. It works. Hell yeah, go.
Yeah, obviously the Best Ball Mania draft being $25, that can be a hefty one, especially if you're trying to max fill it. I think it costs like a little over $3,200 if you want to max fill in that one. But we have, like JJ said, these smaller ones like the mini schnauzers, the Pomeranian, the Chihuahua. These are $3, $4, $5 drafts. Even the Golden is a $10 draft, and it's a 1 entry fee so that you're not competing with these guys that have just a stupid amount of money. Because if you're looking up here on the board, we have guys with these black and red shields. That means they're pretty good. Or if they're not pretty good, they've spent a lot of money trying to get really good. So this time of season, you got to have a lot of sharks. Obviously, I don't like to showboat. I take my shield down. They give me this really cool blue one that they've given to nobody else, but I don't like to show it, so it's invisible. You just can't see it right now. Just believe me, you have to. But
I don't have any check marks.
Or no check marks. No. So this shit just sprays you in the face. You can't block any of it. It's too bad. All right, we need a quarterback.
Yeah, I was about to say, are we gonna jump on the QB train? We still have our faves.
We do.
So who are we sitting on here? We got Atlanta, Miami, Arizona, as far as running backs. And then QBs, nothing. Wide receivers, Houston, LA, Baltimore, Tampa. Oof.
So yeah, a lot of we still can match up a good chunk of these. And then of course our tight end coming in from Atlanta, Bijan's a good pass catcher, so I do like stacking him with Kirk. There's another wide receiver we can kind of grab a little later. We'll shoot our shot at Darnell Mooney. That is, if nobody watching this is also in the draft with us and it doesn't snipe us. But I think it's about time. Let's take
What
our
are the odds
QB
of
here.
that?
I don't know. We got fans. They're stalking us. But none stalked more than the Falcons did to Kirk Cousins. Might have been a tampering issue. Might not have been. Kirky, you're coming to us. Unless this asshole Vinny Vincenzo takes it from us. Woo! Trevor Lawrence, let's go.
Woo! He took the hair. We're going to take the jewels.
Whoop. I'm down with that. Kirk Cousins, we locked him up. We are going to look to add at least probably 2 more quarterbacks here. Just on the consistency, I'd love to get Baker and then Bryce Young at the very end, or Matt Stafford and Bryce Young at the very end. Or I don't know where your feelings are on this whole Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins, but do we grab Penix as our third quarterback just in case maybe the injury comes back to bite Kirk, or maybe there is a changing of the guard?
I think if we're going to see that, it will be late in the season. I think basically it's Kurt is on his way out, so we're going to coach Penix, OP to play in the NFL. I don't think we're going to see him really do too much in the regular season. Unless Kurt
it's
gets hurt.
Unfortunate too. Like I try to type that kid's name so often, and it's just Michael Penis.
Oh yeah, no.
Middle school was rough for this kid. You absolutely know it. As JJ, as you were one of the cool kids with like the AJ, CJ, JJ.
Oh no.
As a Brian with the middle name of J, I wanted to join that club. I was like, ooh, maybe I can get people to start calling me BJ. Thank God I stopped that before I went to middle school, because holy shit, that's not a can of worms you want to be opening up in middle school, being called BJ.
Well, so I had a last name, or I have a last name that's very phallic as well. So I can't really do too
Big
much
Harry,
with it,
isn't it?
But,
Jordan Big Harry.
That's what it is. Life is great.
Life is great. So checking out our team right now, we're looking at a 1-3-6-1 stack: 1 quarterback, 3 running backs, 6 wide receivers, and 1 tight end. Luckily, we have our Studley tight ends. We're only going to have to grab 1 more. We grabbed 1 Green Bay wide receiver, and I'm a big fan of let's stack a couple of these guys. Dontavian Wicks, I think, is a great value here. Quentin Johnson, it's gross. Ricky Pearsall, he's sitting behind some people. Then you got a couple rookies down here. Let's go for a little continuity. I'm going to go Wicks, unless you got somebody else you like.
Nope. Hit it. I like it.
Ooh, oh, shit. 1 second. Whoa, we got it. We got it here, folks.
That was barely,
we got it.
That was barely
After 2 tilts, we finally pulled one off.
And hey, if you're watching us live right now, fire off in the comments. Tell us what you're thinking. Give us your honest opinion about this.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. So the guy that took Jordan Love is picking 2 picks later. He wanted Dontavian Wicks to fall there because he's got Jaden Reed. And he did not get obviously Dobbs came to me as well. And then it looks like Christian Watson missed him as well. Oh, poor guy. Ruined his draft. But it's okay. It's all about us here at Too Much Best Ball.
We're shaking the tree, We're livening things up a bit.
Yeah, when you shake a few trees, obviously the squirrels have to fall. It can't be a home for everyone. God, speaking of which, sidebar here, people, we're not talking best ball. We're talking landscaping. My neighbor just got 2 trees removed. The amount of squirrels that were vacated and that would run from my trees to the neighbor's trees and keep going through the neighborhood. Yeah, those funny sons of bitches. It's funny now watching them run through all the branches of my tree and then come to a dead stop because they have nowhere else to go.
Oh, dude. I love listening to squirrels argue and fight each other. It's so amazing.
Yeah, my dogs sit at the base of the trees and just stare up at them, waiting for them to come down
Same.
closer.
Same. Just like right up looking. Speaking of which, also, you have golden retriever in your dog background. Do you have any dog hats that you can put on the golden retriever?
Not on mine, but one for me. Yes, yeah, I will be here soon.
Mm,
Actually, I tried to get Pippa, my golden retriever, to pop up here with me, but she's over there licking her ass. So maybe next week.
jealous. Wish I could do that.
I have thought about that. Let me get some more like dog paraphernalia to have behind me for these live streams. Maybe a hat, maybe a costume. Do they make dog onesies? The snoot.
Dude, what about that jacket from what's that show? Workaholics. He had that grizzly bear jacket.
Oh,
Blake did. What if you had like a golden retriever like jacket like that? You can get it custom made. Shit is custom. I did that myself.
I could do that. I could mess with that.
I'd like it.
Oh, gross, gross, gross. JJ, we're picking up here. We got 3 running backs. We really need to get another quarterback. We need to grab.
You're going Carolina heavy again, aren't you?
Ew, I don't want to.
I don't either. I don't like Buffalo. Antonio Gibson. I mean,
What
New
about
England may
Baker?
not have a
Grab another-
QB.
You want to go Baker?
Yeah, pick up Baker. I like him.
Cool. Because right
Vinny, what are
behind
you
him, there's a
gonna
few
do?
more running backs I like. Jaleel McLaughlin, maybe. Tyrone Tracy. Yeah, let's go Baker. Let's go ahead and lock him up. He does have a small floor with rushing, and he's got some great weapons. So Baker it is. QB number 2, folks. We got it. We are safe. We're locked in. This team is it's shaping out pretty good.
Plant that flag.
Hell
Baker
yeah.
Mayfield is on the team.
At this point, we're starting to see tight ends fly off the board. Pat Freiermuth, Hunter Henry, Dalton Schultz, Ben Sinnott. These are middling guys, and luckily we don't have to deal with too many of them. We've got Kyle Pitts. I think he should be a pretty good, pretty consistent fella this year. I'm hoping we get 1,000, maybe 1,200 yards from the guy. We saw it in his rookie year break 1,000.
Well, and we'll have the chance to pick up a lower end guy too. That maybe, what is it? Maybe Baltimore might have one that's hanging out that we can throw in and out, because they like to trade in and out their tight ends quite a bit.
Yeah, Isaiah Likely, he's gotten quite a bit of work, especially with Mark Andrews not being able to stay healthy for the full season. So, yeah, there's quite a few tight end streamers here. Hell, let's throw in a Green Bay tight end just to keep things saucy.
The South Bows.
That's
I like it.
I like it. Oh, man, we should have done a little grilling before we hopped on here. You know,
So I
some
thought
drinks,
about it.
some dogs, maybe a little pulled pork. Ooh, a little
The better half
brisket.
wanted burgers, and I said, no, thank you. I want T-Bell, and made that mistake.
I thought you were going to upsell it with, no, I wanted a steak, or I wanted something. I wanted T-Bell.
Nope. I didn't want to do anything, so.
Nacho fries are back, people.
Love them. Oh, my
All right.
gosh.
I know you said you didn't like Buffalo here, but Ray Davis coming in, I think he should see a decent amount of work, so I don't mind him. Antonio Gibson got paid money to go to New England as a pass catcher. Chuba Hubbard, we've got a little bit of continuity with.
I'm always one for Chuba.
Let's grab us a little continuity then with the Carolina Panthers. Because now I think Bryce Young is all but locked in to be on our team now.
Yeah. And I will say I don't like the Giants. I don't like anything about them this year.
I don't either.
Especially, did you see those? Did you see their 100-year jerseys?
Their khaki pants they're wearing? Like the Toby Flinderson of freaking jerseys? Yeah, I saw that shit.
What was that movie with Jim Halpert and George Clooney? That like years ago. Oh,
I didn't know they did a movie together.
Yeah.
I I needed to obviously need to hop on to Too Much Movie Night so I can check out these movies that you're
Yeah,
talking
we're
about,
gonna have to
JJ.
check that one out. I mean, we haven't reviewed that one in Too Much Movie Night, but we might have to. I think it's like, oh sheesh, but
Ocean's
it's the
11?
early. No, it's the early days of football.
Ocean's 12.
Yes, that's it.
That one's.
No,
Yeah, I
I
can't
can't
even think
remember.
of
I'll have to think of it.
what Clooney's in as far as movie. Oh, is it Leatherheads?
Yes, Leatherheads. That's the
There
one.
you go. As soon as I was like, I
Yeah,
can't even think of a movie's in it. I
those
just
those
saw his head
pants.
pop up.
Those pants just reminded me of that instantly, and I was like, "Oh Lord!"
What the hell? All right.
All
So
right,
what a nice little
Tyrone
combo.
Tracy. No,
Yeah.
I'm out.
No.
That's me. You what's your argument on him?
I
He's a
guess
late pick.
he's a late drafted guy. He went, I believe, in the 6th round. So the chances that he hit is slim to none. But the upside with that is he's really sitting as probably the number 2, number 3 guy there. Devin
Okay.
Singletary stays healthy. He's usually the one that works there, but he's getting older. When you in best ball, you want to take the shot on these younger guys, shot on the upside. So I think there is upside with him, but I am not by any means locked into him. I could be talking into an Antonio Gibson, maybe even a Bucky Irving, since we've got Baker Mayfield and the fellows there in Tampa.
So let's
But
talk.
this is round 15. So we have 15, 16, 17, 18. We got 4 picks left.
So let's talk tight end real quick too, because yes, there's the possibility of Bryce Young. Yes, there's the possibility that we could get Sanders. What do you think?
Wait, Sanders.
Carolina's tight end.
Oh yeah, I mean, if we wanted to grab
Jatavian?
him, we can grab him way late. He's down there at tight end 29, and K Dotton's at tight end 20. So I put him on there. I think he would be a long shot. I'd probably like him more in a 3 tight end build. So maybe that's not quite what we're looking for, since we just want to have 2.
Okay. Nope, that's
But we have
valid.
4
That's
picks
valid.
here, so we could go quarterback with 1. We could go another running back, and then we could go 2 tight ends if we really wanted to. So I wouldn't be opposed to that if we did like a Tucker Kraft and Sanders, or maybe Isaiah Likely or Chikakonkwo and him.
I mean, I would rather get some more point guys up that are going to see a little bit more action, but if it is what it is, I'll take it.
Well, we're on the clock here. Let's grab our last running back. And we've got Antonio Gibson, Bucky Irving, Tyrone Tracy start up. We're scrolling. Will Shipley, maybe. Who you want?
I'm leaning towards Gibson.
Gibson, I love it. He got the money. He got paid. He can catch the ball.
They don't have a thrower, so they're going to look to putting it on the ground. Let's do it.
Drake May being there, or Jacoby Brissett, whoever is starting. I'm sure there's going to be dump offs the wide or the running back. So I think it's pretty safe play to give us a handful of games this year.
Mm-hmm. I am pretty. I do like Jacoby Brissett, though. I will say that. I don't know why. I mean, he's not all-star, but he's a good, solid foundation.
He can get it. Oh my gosh, where is he? We missed out on Darnell freaking Mooney. Where'd he go?
We did, didn't we?
Oh, he went in the 12th. Holy shit, he is moving up draft boards. I don't like him in the 11th round, but I thought that was going to be a nice pairing with our fellow Kirky.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe not.
We missed him.
You missed it. It's all your fault, too. Folks, we do like to blame JJ for these. Most of the problems are going to be, coming from his end. So make sure you remember that going forward. It's not me.
Any complaints, send a direct message on Twitter to @toomuch_Brian, because he will then relate them to me. And yes, he is technically my secretary. So
yeah, it's the email is toomuchtrash@gmail.com. It goes right to our complaint department, our HR.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've got our 5 running backs, 7 wide receivers. I'm pretty good with that. We have 3 picks left. I'm open to grabbing quarterback, tight end, wide receiver.
I think he's about to pick up McCarthy, the guy on the clock now. He has one QB, and there's not many to choose from, so maybe
these
not.
wide receivers, it is dry. It's gross. I don't like it. We didn't, did we? I forgot we let Matthew Stafford go. Demarcus Robinson might be a decent pick. He wasn't great last year, but they made an effort to re-sign him, so
yeah,
there could be something there.
that old boy picked up a third tight end instead of picking up a
Yeah.
second QB.
Yeah, he's pretty confident in Jalen Hurts.
Like, wow, somebody's from Philly. All right.
I did it. I didn't want to think about it. I just did Bryce Young. It's okay. It's okay, folks. We got Chuba. We got Deontay Johnson. It makes sense. There's something that works there.
I mean, at that point, you're technically blocking him from, which is terrible, but
Carolina,
I'm all right.
The playoffs,
We have
playing
Kirk.
the Cowboys. Yeah, we do have Kirk, and I think he could be a top 8, top 10 quarterback. The possibilities of him throwing over 30, 35 touchdowns, I think is there. Darnell Mooney has to be something because they're going to need enough pass catchers. But I really like this team this year.
Yeah.
So we have 2 picks left. We need at least one tight end. And then that last pick, I think we can go anywhere with it. So do we close our eyes? Who knows? Do we just pick at random?
So let's talk. We've got 4 tight ends on our favorite list, our Q.
Great now we have 5.
5. Okay.
Great feature.
I'm hyping them up. Let's do this damn thing. So hit me with your pros and cons here. Isaiah Likely. Older.
We've seen over the last several seasons, Mark Andrew does not stay healthy. As you kind of pointed out to, Baltimore still runs multiple tight ends. They did lose Odell Beckham, so that's one less mouth to feed over there. So maybe they do get him more involved as far as some of these tight ends. Chigakonkwo, Titans shouldn't be very good this year, so maybe they're in a position where they're having to play catch up. There's a lot of pieces in this offense, so maybe they get things moving around. Tucker Kraft, a lot of that we saw really good play from him, but we also saw a good play from Luke Musgrave, the other rookie tight end that Green Bay took. So a big reason I'd be taking him is just the correlation with the wide receivers we have. And then Sanders, I really don't know if we should. He's a rookie tight end. They don't show up their rookie years typically.
I'm okay with not picking him up. That's fine.
And then Greg Dulcich, Denver's going to be trash, but who's going to be catching the ball? He showed some signs.
Who's going to be throwing the ball?
Bo Nix, I guess. Like he's got to be the starter. I feel like week 1, like they took him 12 overall. This year Atlanta, huh?
Gone. Isaiah Likely just got picked up.
So skip the analysis on that. I didn't want to Likely anyway. Screw him.
All right, yeah. I mean, he wasn't at the top of my list either. So
it's not even a freaking starter. Oh man, here we go. Let me pull up our team. So right now we're looking at Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young. Good on quarterback. Bijan Mostert, Trey Benson, Chuba Hubbard, Antonio Gibson are running back. Nico Collins, Cooper Kupp, Zay Flowers, Chris Godwin, Deontay Johnson, Romeo Dobbs, Domintavian Wicks. Yuck. All right.
Yuck.
Not yuck. I just wish we had more.
Man, I kind of feel like we have to go with Green Bay at this point.
You gonna go Tucker?
At a tight end. That's what my gut's telling me. Out of what we have.
I would originally say that maybe it's the Taco Bell that you're hearing, but no, I think I like that situation. Let's go Tucker Kraft. We don't have Jordan Love, obviously, but when you're grabbing all those receivers, we are still grabbing a great piece of that Green Bay pie. Do they make cheese pie up there? Is that what they have?
It's yeah,
I could fuck with cheese pie.
I don't know.
Put cheese curds and
It's like
dough.
it's
Hell yeah.
cheese and broccoli and cheddar pie.
Well, I like broccoli cheddar soup. Just putting it in a crust.
Yeah,
I can
it's
fuck with
just
that.
a crusty soup, which sounds
Yeah.
delicious.
Almost as delicious as taking Jatavian Sanders, which we are not. He's gone, people.
Oh, I thought yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, into the
One more
draft.
pick, right?
Yep. We have 3572 is our lineup. I'm okay with really, I'd be cool taking another running back if we just want to add a little bit of security to make sure that we've got that second piece. A wide receiver I wouldn't be opposed to, especially in rookie Jalen McMillan to Tampa Bay since we have Baker. Rondale Moore got traded to Atlanta, so we might see him get more involved as that wide receiver 3. And then Greg Dulcich is a tight end I like shooting my shot in very late in the draft. I'm also open to anything you see outside of a quarterback. So
don't pick up a quarterback right now.
yeah, no,
Why wouldn't I want to pick up a quarterback in the last round, though?
We got 3. We've got 3.
Man, I'm kind of leaning towards might as well just boost that receiver or running back in this case. Just because there are always these random dudes that are going to have like fire games.
I agree. I like it.
Rondale Moore, do it.
Rondale Moore, he might be a complete wasted pick, but we have Kirk Cousins. As we talked about, they've got one of the better wide receiver lineups as far as the schedule goes. So we're going to shoot our shot there, and Kirk's going to have to pass the ball around a little bit. So I think it's a great situation.
As long as he doesn't get hit, he can throw the ball. I mean,
good Lord. I hope that leg is fine. I guess that's the nice thing too about Atlanta is as long as you don't put all of your eggs in the Kirk Cousins basket, you can put them in all the other players because worst case scenario, no Kirk Cousins, you still have Penix. And I think that gives you more hope than, obviously when Aaron Rodgers went down and Zach Wilson came and plugged in, Penix should be hopefully much better than Zach Wilson, but who knows? We have to have busts out of these 6 quarterbacks. So I don't know.
As long as he stays away from moms. Never heard if that was actually true or not, but
I'd like to believe it is.
Yeah,
I think that's 100%. All the funny talk. He's up in Denver now, and everybody's like, "Yep, he traded in Cougars for Wildcats."
Just like Santa Claus, I believe in it.
Ooh, Drake May goes off the board there. Bo Nix.
Oh, Bo Nix, and
wow, this guy took 4 quarterbacks. Took Tua in the 10th round, Geno in the 15th, Derek Carr in the 17th, and then Bo Nix in the 18th. That's he took Kyron in the 2nd, Sam Laporta in the 3rd, Travis Etienne. Wow, very fragile as far as his running back situation there. And he took 2 tight ends. This dude took 1 wide receiver. Okay, we got to pull this up here. What did we draft the puppy? Let's go into this thing. Full draft board. What in the hell? I'm not here to talk shit on other people's draft boards, but like he took his 2nd wide receiver in the 7th round. And he took 4 quarterbacks. Holy shit, this dude took... So, folks, when we're talking about there is money to be made, you do not have to be the sharpest of all sharks, but goodness, there are some folks that let you take their money. That's awesome. JJ, you want to let the folks know, tell them where we finished as far as our team? Oh, I lost you. Looks like you muted. It wasn't me.
Is it there now? Oh, here we are.
Oh, there he is.
Solid wise on the QB. I like it. I like where we're sitting. We've got Kirk Cousins, old Baker, and for some reason Bryce Young. I mean, he might shine, he might not, but He's the diamond in the turd. We'll see. Running back wise, Bijan solid with the Atlanta mix. Raheem Mostert, I just like him. I like him. He's a great runner. Trey Benson going out of Arizona. Chuba, Carolina. I like that too.
Hopefully.
Antonio Gibson. Wide receiver core, Nico Collins. My boy Cooper Kupp. Brian, I know you like him. Don't say you don't.
A little bit.
You love him. Zay Flowers out of Baltimore. Chris Godwin hitting that TB once again. Deontay Johnson out of Carolina. And then 2 straight runs out of receivers from Green Bay. I like that. Romeo Dobbs and Wicks.
And then Rondell Moore, we can just ignore that, folks. I'm sorry. That was a bad impulse pick right there in the last round.
It could pay off. It could not.
Hopefully.
We might get 5 points. We might get 50 points. We might get no points. But it's fun. And then tight end wise, Kyle Pitts, good solid grab. I think that was smart to pick him up at early round, and then Tucker Kraft, maybe juggle.
He just needs to fill in for Kyle's bye week and maybe a couple more weeks if he's not filling up to it.
Yeah.
But as we've said, there's recommended ways to play this. Hero or zero RB seems to give you the best output. Going wide receiver heavy, but there are a million ways to draft your team, and there's a million wrong ways to draft your team too. So that's the fun of rolling through these, getting to see all of what happens. And not to feel overconfident here, but I really like the team we have here. I think we did it well. There's a few teams that they did all right, but no, here at Too Much Best Ball, we always draft the best team. That's just how it works, right?
What are the stats saying? Can we see it?
We could, but I already closed the window.
Oh, well, why'd you do that?
Because people don't want to see the stats, JJ. Just in case I'm wrong, we don't need to prove that I'm wrong.
I'm just saying.
Oh, you're saying too much here. Too much. Oh, it's Too Much Best Ball. That's where it works out. Okay. All right. I see what you're playing at.
All right.
All right, JJ, before we get out of here, I cannot thank you enough for coming to hang out with us tonight, drafting a team. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more of you this summer as we get deeper and deeper into the fantasy football season. But before we go, let people know, where can they find you, what you're working on?
Look us up, Too Much Movie Night. You can find us on Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, the best place to come see us, because you get to see not only my pretty face, Brian's ugly face, but a lot of our great movie content that we can show you at the same time. So check us out. Too Much Movie Night. Don't forget it. Enjoy it. Brian, I appreciate you having me on tonight. This has been a blast. I'm looking forward. I hope I get to, come back and do it again. I had a great time.
Oh, yeah. We have too many more drafts to do, JJ. We're going to be doing this daily. Tomorrow night, maybe not tomorrow night. A little over advanced.
Tomorrow's date night, so maybe later.
But yes, of course, if you're looking for more of me, you can find me on Twitter at @too_much_Brian. I'm going to be all over the Fantasy Football Advice Network's YouTube page. You'll see me there with Too Much Best Ball, Too Much Fantasy Football, and of course, like JJ said, we've got Too Much Shenanigans, Too Much Fantasy, or Too Much Movie Night. Lots of fun on the YouTube. And if you are the first time player and you watch this video, you realize, I need to jump in the fun, because if JJ can do it, I can do it. Get that first time deposit match up to $250 in bonus cash with our.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Exactly. Subscribe, hit the bell.
I will say that's a better deal than what I got whenever I signed up.
Yeah, I signed up like 3 years ago and it was like up to $50 match. That's some booty. Yeah. That's some booty.
$250?
Hop on this, folks. Till next time, we'll see y'all later.
Peace. Thanks, guys.